Hello guys, welcome to GATE and ESC classes. Today we will discuss the part 5 of Engineering Services 2021 detailed solution. If you have not watched the previous lectures, please go back to my playlist and check there. You will get there part 1 and part 2 and part 3 and part 4 notifications. Okay, I will be going for the questions on the screen. Under the following conditions, just today I will take purple color. Under which of the following conditions is a Coriolis component encountered in the relative acceleration of the points? It's the discussing about the Coriolis component encountered in the relative acceleration of 2 points. Then this is the in the acceleration of 2 points. In between of 2 points, they were talking about the component. Okay, let's move. Don't not wasting any time. We are going for the points. The 2 points are coincident but on different links. This option also, this point is right. The point on the link traces a path on the other link. This option also is not right. The link that contains the path rotates. This option is also right. All the statements are correct. Coriolis acceleration is encountered when the point may have its motion relative to moving body system. For example, we take option number D will be our right answer. For example, I will consider here example motion of a slider on rotating link. By considering this, the motion of a slider on a rotating link, you can solve this Coriolis component encountered in the relative acceleration of 2 points. Moving for the next question, question number 102. A mass m attached to a light spring oscillates with a period of 2 seconds. If the mass is increased by 2 kg, the period increases by 1 second. What is the value of the mass? Just wait. Which one will be better? Red I will take. First I will write here the from which equation we can solve this question. This question is we can solve by the frequency of oscillation. With the help of oscillation we can solve here. First we will write the values. What values are given here? M. First I will draw here the a mass m attached to a light spring oscillates with a period of 2 seconds. If the mass is increased by 2 kg, the period increases by 1 second. Is the value of the mass. Just wait a second. Guys. Sorry for started. I will consider here mass is hanging here. Mass m is attached to a light spring oscillates with 2 seconds. Okay, this one will be k. Okay, this much is taking the spring light. Okay, after that I will write here frequency of oscillation. I will write here frequency of oscillation omega n is equal to root over of k upon m. Time period is how much? Time period is equal to 2 pi upon omega n is equal to 2 pi root over of m upon k. Root over of m upon k. After that I will write the values, what values are given in this. I will apply all the values here. Two is equal to 2 pi root over of m upon k. I will consider it equation 1. After that this one is, I will taking here the 2 seconds. Okay, after that I will consider later I will take 3 is equal to 2 pi by solving m plus 2 upon k. This one will be equation 2. Dividing equation 1 and 2, dividing equation 1 and 2, we will get 3 by 2 is equal to by cancel outing this one, I will applying here directly m plus 2 upon m. By taking root over, by making a square here, I will get here 9 by 4 is equal to m plus 2 upon m. By doing cross multiply, I get the value of 9m is equal to 4m plus 2. After that by doing simplify, I get the value of 5m is equal to 8. After that I will get 8 upon 5 is equal to 1.6 kg will be the value of mass. This 1.6 kg will be the value of mass. Okay, value of mass is equal to 1.6 kg. Moving for the next question, question number 103. What is the critical speed of the shaft if its natural frequency of transverse vibration is 2.85 Hz? Okay, first I will tell the critical speed of the shaft is revolution per second is equal to the natural frequency of transverse vibration is Hz. In the question given, Fn is equal to 2.85 Hz and Nc is equal to we have to remember this 2.85 rps revolution per second. After that, by applying on the formula of 60 into nc is equal to 60 into 2.85 is equal to 171 rpm. 171 rpm is the correct answer, the critical speed of the shaft. Okay, moving for the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the gears. It's talking about the gears. Regarding the gears in this talking there. The ratio of number of teeth on the gear to that on the pinion is known as gear ratio. Absolutely, this will be right, because gear ratio is equal to teeth on the gear upon teeth on the pinion. This is absolutely right. Option point 1 is right, and the dedendum circle is given. The circle passing through the tip of the teeth is called dedendum circle. This is wrong because the circle is passing through the teeth of the point is addendum circle. This one is not a addendum circle. This one will be addendum circle. Okay, in this I will write here addendum circle. Okay, this point is wrong. Correct option will be the circle passing through the tip of the teeth is called addendum circle. The circle passing through the roots of teeth is called addendum circle. This point also is wrong because the circle passing through the roots of the teeth is called dedendum circle. Dedendum circle. I will write here dedendum circle. You can write here dedendum circle. Backlash is the difference between the space. This point is wrong. Backlash is the difference between the space width and the tooth thickness along the pitch circle. This point also is right because the backlash is the difference between the space width and the tooth thickness along the pitch. This point also is right, and option 1 and 4 only the right option. So option B will be our right answer. Moving for the next question. The number of teeth of spur gear is 30 and it rotates at 200 rpm. What is the pitch line velocity if it has a module of 2 mm? First I will write here the given data, whatever the given data are given here. T is equal to 30, given the teeth of spur gear given 30, and m is equal to module is given 2 mm, and rotation n number of rotation is 200 rpm. Okay, the first we will apply in this question. The asking is pitch line velocity if it has a module of 10. We have to find out the pitch line velocity. So pitch line velocity formula I will write here. Pitch line velocity. Pitch line velocity is equal to 2 pi n upon 60 into r. Okay, and r is equal to mt upon 2. By finding out r can be found out with the help of r is equal to mt by 2. By applying firstly I will find out the value. Directly I will write here on the pitch line equation. So don't worry. Pitch line velocity equal to, I will be writing here because I will not get the space here, 2 into pi into n value is 200 upon 60 and r value is equal to mt is given 2 into 30 upon 2. By solving this we will get the pitch line velocity is 628.32 meter mm per second. Per second will be our answer, and option C will be our right answer. For moving for the next question, the compound gear train shown in the figure below. The consists of a compound gear B, C and D, E. All gears are mounted on parallel shaft. The motor shaft rotating at 800 rpm is connected to the gear A and the output shaft to the gear F. The number of teeth on gears A, B, C, D, F 24, in A, B 56, C 30, in D 80, in F 72. 32, 72, 32 and 72 respectively. What is the speed of the gear F? This question is very interesting question. First I will write the given data. Given I will write here. Given is NA is given 800 rpm. NA is given 800 rpm, and the compound gear train ratio is NB upon NA is equal to TA upon TB. By find outing NB is equal to 800 into 24 upon 56. 24 upon 56. By applying this into RPM, by solving this we get NB is equal to NC is equal to 800 into 24 upon 56 into RPM. After that, by getting NB is equal to NC is equal to that much. After that I will be going for ND. ND upon NC is equal to TC upon TD. After that ND is equal to NC into TC upon TD. I will be referring this diagram only. I am referring from this diagram only. I am not going to draw another diagram. So I am trying to write from the given diagram only. I am trying to consider the answer. After that NC is given 800 into 24 upon 56 into 30 upon 80. 30 upon 80. I will be going for next slide. Wait a second. After that I will write this much is completed. Then after that ND and NC is we have written. After that I will be writing here the ND is equal to, the question answer is very lengthy, so be patient on this question, otherwise you may lose the answer. NE is equal to 800 into 24 upon 56 into 30 upon 80 rpm. After that I will be writing NF. NF is equal to NE into TE upon TF is equal to 800 into 24 into 56 into 56 into 30 into 80 into 32 upon 72. By solving this we get the value of 400 upon 7 rpm. After that, by simplifying this one, we get 57.14 rpm. This will be our answer, and our option will be 57.14. Option A will be our right answer. Moving for the next question. Question number 107. The quick return mechanism is to be, just wait. Quick return mechanism is to be designed where the outward stroke must consume 1.2 second and the return stroke 0.8 second. If the cycle is 2.0 second per revolution, what is the speed at which the mechanism should be driven? First, I will write the given data. What the given data is given there. First, cycle time is given. Cycle time is equal to 1.2, just wait, 1.2 second, 1.2 second, just 1.2 second. And so basically the mechanism will rotate full rotation in 2 seconds only. Okay, after that speed is equal to 60 seconds upon 2 seconds. By solving this, we get 30 rpm, and revolution will be or 30 revolutions per second. Moving for the next question. Question number 108. The following data relate to a single cylinder reciprocating engine. Mass of reciprocating parts is 40 kg. Mass of revolving parts is 30 kg at crank radius. Speed is equal to 150 rpm. Stroke is equal to 350 mm. If 60% of the reciprocating parts and all the revolving parts are to be balanced, what is the balance mass required at a radius of 320 mm? 320 mm. By this question is from theory of machines. Very simple question this also. First, I will draw here the single cylinder reciprocating engine. I will consider here, just wait a moment so that I can explain it very nicely. By making the single cylinder reciprocating engine, this one is hinge support and this one is one bar is given here. This one is meter second. This one is meter revolution. Okay, meter revolution. By solving this, stroke is given here. Stroke is not given. Stroke is equal to 2 into crank radius is equal to 350 mm. Okay guys, 350 mm we are given 350 mm, and r is equal, first I will write here, r is given here 350 mm, and mass to be balanced plus balanced equal to revolving mass plus 60% of reciprocating mass. Okay, I will write here, I am not writing here, the mass to be balanced equal to revolving mass plus 60% of reciprocating mass. I will write here 30 plus revolving mass is equal to 30 plus revolving mass per 60% is equal to 0.6 into into reciprocating mass is how much? Here given reciprocating mass is equal to 40 kg. I will write here 40. These things will become in kg. By solving this we get 30 plus 24 kg is equal to 54. 54 kg. This is the mass to be balanced. Okay, after getting mass to be balanced part equal to balanced mass, I will write here this one is m w square into r is equal to m w square into r. This one is mass to be balanced part, this one is balanced part, balanced mass. Okay, by writing here the mass is given for me 54 into into this r, this one will cancel, these two will cancel, and r is equal to 0.35. They are given here 0.35. By converting it into meter we will get 0.35. 350 mm is equal to by converting it into meter 0.35. Okay, I will writing here that 2 equal to m into r is equal to 0.32. because the r is given in this given data, I have not written here. Directly I came here to solve this answer. By after solving this I get the value of am is equal to 29.53 kg will be our right answer. 29.53 kg is option D will be our right answer. Moving for the next question. A leaf spring consists of 7 steel plates, each 60 mm wide and 6 mm thick. What is the length of the spring if it is to carry a central load of 3 kN without the stress exceeding 150 megapascal? Without the exceeding 150 megapascal. This question is from machine drawing, machine drawing or machine design. In first I will write here the given values. What are the given values given here? First given is equal to I will consider here sigma is equal to 150 megapascal, and W is weight. W is given here 3 kilonewton. Weight is given, load is given here 3 kilonewton, and N is equal to N also is given here 7. Number of plates is given here 7, and width is given here 60 mm, and thickness is given here 6 mm. A maximum bending stress formula is, I will write here the maximum bending. In case of leaf spring, maximum bending stress will be maximum bending stress will be sigma is equal to 3 by 2 upon WL upon NBT square. Okay, by applying all the values here, firstly I will consider the value. What we have to find out here, we have to find out the leaf here. So I will first I will simplify this, and I will directly apply the values here. 2 into 7 into b value is 60 into t square is equal to 6 square. 6 square into 10 की power minus 9 into I will be writing here, the making here 150 into 10, just wait a moment, 150 into 10 की power 6, because the in the megapascal, by converting it into 150 megapascal, by converting it into meter, I will get the 150 into 10 की power 6. Okay, by writing here 3 into load is equal to 3 and sigma no load by kilonewton converted into meter 10 की power 3. I get the, by solving this one I get the value of 0.504 meter. By converting it into mm, 504 into 504 mm millimeter, this will be our right answer, and the option D will be our right answer. Moving for the next question. Where I received here, just wait a second. No, absolutely everything is right, I have marked here the, this one is 110, question number 110. Okay, I will be writing here 110. According to the maximum shear stress theory with comparison to yield strength in tension, the yield strength in shear is half the yield strength in tension, same as that of yield strength in tension. Double the yield strength in tension, 1.3 times that of the yield strength in tension. Option A will be our right answer, because according to maximum shear stress theory with the comparison to yield strength in tension, the yield strength in shear is half the yield strength in tension. Okay, not wasting any time, I will be moving for the next question. In curved beams, normally the nature of stress is distribution is hyperbolic, because in curved beams normally the nature of stress distribution is hyperbolic only. Consider the following statements regarding the crack. And in this question, in the code questions, the discussing about the crack. What the crack is more likely to occur in the regions of discontinuity, such as oil holes, right? Because in the crack is more likely to occur in the regions of discontinuity such as oil holes. Okay, crack is more likely to occur in the regions of irregularities in machining operations such as stamp mark. Okay, this also is right. Crack is more likely to occur in the internal cracks due to defects in materials like blowholes. This option is also right. Option D will be our right answer. I will tell you what the things will occur. Internal crack due to defects in materials like blowholes, regions of irregularities in machining operations such as scratches on the surface, stamp marks, inspection mark, etc. Regions of discontinuity such as oil holes, keyways, and screw threads, etc. Moving for the next question on the screen, the yield strength of a bolt material. Just wait, I have written here. Bolt material is 300 megapascal. 300 megapascal, and the factor of safety is 2.5. What is the maximum principal stress using maximum principal shear stress theory? And I will write here the given data CM. Sigma yt is equal to 300 megapascal and the factor of safety is given here 2.5. okay. After that I will be applying using the maximum principal stress theory. Maximum principal stress is equal to maximum principal stress sigma 1 is equal to sigma yt upon n, and by sigma 1 is equal to sigma yt is equal to 300 megapascal upon 2.5, and the answer will be, by solving this one we get answer 120 megapascal. 120 megapascal will be our right answer. By applying only the maximum principal stress formula we get the answer of this one. Okay, so please focus on basics of the formulas so that you can solve easily. And which one of the following theories gives satisfactory results for brittle materials? In this in the question they are talking about the brittle materials theories. Okay. Maximum principal stress theory, and the maximum shear stress theory, distortion energy theory, shear stress energy theory. The option A will be our right answer, because in the brittle materials the theories will take place only in the maximum principal stress theory only. Moving for the next question number 115. A cast steel bar having an ultimate strength of 120 megapascal is subjected to a reverse repeated bending load, and the bar will be machined to a rectangular cross section 150 mm wide into 200 mm high. What is the equivalent diameter? What is the equivalent diameter? Only the answer asking here is equivalent diameter. Okay guys, this one we have to find out the equivalent diameter. Okay, so firstly I will write here the given data, what are given data are given here. Just wait a moment so that I can write here. The effective diameter of non-circular cross section is given by effective diameter of any non-circular cross section is the given by, I will write here the DE is equal to A95 upon 0.0766. This one is 0.1. A95 is the equal to portion of cross sectional area of the non-cylindrical part that is stressed between 95% and 100% of the maximum stress, and D equivalent is equal to effective diameter of the non-cylindrical part. For a rectangular cross section having width B and depth H is equal to A95 is equal to 0.5 BH. I will consider it equation 2. After that from equation 1 and equation 2 equating, I will get D equivalent is equal to the root over of 0.5 BH upon 0.07666 equal to 0.808 root over of BH. By solving this I will be writing here the BH is equal to B is given here. Where is my marker? And the B is given here 150, and H is given here 200. Okay, height 200. By applying here 0.808 into root over of 150 into 200. By solving this, I get D equivalent is equal to 140 mm, and the 140 mm will be our right answer, right option. Option C will be our right option. For moving for the next question, consider the following statements regarding typical analysis of bolt failure. In this question is also from the machine design. So these so be careful. A 50% failure of bolt occur at the fillet under the head. Absolutely right, because in the fillet bolt only 50% will occur under the head. Okay, in the above the head it only 50% of bolt occur. Okay, for the moving for the next point, 50% of failure occur at the end of threads on the sunk. Absolutely wrong, because because in 50%, this one is not a total 50%, because in 20% this only 20% failure of bolt occur at the ends of the, only it will take 20% of the failure. Okay guys, here you have to write 20% of the failure of the bolt occur at the end of threads on the sunk. That option will be right. For from this there will be wrong. You can, if you want right option, you can write here the 20% failure of bolt occur at the end of threads on the sunk. Okay, moving for the next point, 80% of the failure bolt occur in the threads that are in contact with the nut. This point also is wrong, because the in threads it takes only 65%. In threads it takes only 65%. 65% failure of a bolt occur in threads and that are in contact with the nut. Okay, we will consider it 65%. 60 80, you can write here 65%. Okay, this point also is good. Only the first point only is right. The option point answer number A will be our right option. Now moving for the next question, which of the following are the functions of lubrication in bearing unit? This question also is from theory of machines in the lubrication in bearing unit, talking about the bearing unit. Firstly, everyone knows that lubrication is used in bearings to reduce the friction between the rubbing surface and to carry away the heat generated by friction. It also protects the bearing against corrosion, because the lubrication of a bearing is protected used to protect the bearing against the corrosion. Okay guys, going for the points here, that to protect the bearing components from corrosion. Absolutely right, I told that it protects the bearing components from corrosion. Okay, to absorb heat from bearing unit. This point also is right, because it absorbs the bearing unit from heat to carry heat away from the bearing unit. This point also is right. Option D will be our right option. Moving for the next question, consider the following statements regarding clutches. Okay guys, in this the points were discussing about the clutches. Okay, the dry clutch has higher coefficient of friction compared to wet clutch. This point is right. Option point A is right. Okay, because in dry clutch higher coefficient of friction compared to wet clutch, because in dry clutch coefficient higher coefficient may take place, and now with the comparing with the wet clutch, it's a low, wet clutch is low. And going for the next point, the torque capacity of wet clutch is high compared to dry clutch. Wrong, because I will tell here, the torque capacity of wet clutch dry clutch is high, because the dry clutch is high compared with the torque with capacity of wet clutch of the same dimension. Okay, this point is wrong. And the engagement in a dry clutch is smoother than in a case of wet clutch. Point 3 also is wrong, because the I will tell here, in the engagement in a wet clutch is smoother. This will consider when wet is there, that point will be right, because here is given dry clutch, because the option will be point will be wrong, third point will be wrong. So the our right answer will be point A. Option A will be our right answer. Moving for the next question, the which one of the following factors can cause misalignment of the tooth on the pinion relative to those on the gear? Because this question is taken from the machine design and you can solve it very easily, because the question is taken from the gear in inaccurate gear teeth. Okay, this is inaccurate gear teeth misalignment of the axis of the shaft carrying gears shaft carrying gears and just wait a moment here. Misalignment of the axis of the shaft carrying gears, this point also is wrong. No, this point also is right, because the misalignment of the axis of shaft carrying gears, the thermal distortion during operation, this point also is right. Thermal distortion during operation, this point also is right. Option D will be our right answer. Moving for the next question, consider the following statements regarding welded and riveted joints. I will discuss here the welded and riveted joints. First, I will tell the what is the welded joints. Welded joints are subjected to residual stress due to uniform heating of the parts being joined. There is always a possibility that localized thermal stress may result from uneven heating and cooling during fusion and subsequent cooling. This also results in distortion. Okay, after that I will be going for single welded V joint. Single welded V joint is more reliable than square bed joint. Single welded V joint with backing strip is more reliable than single welded V joint without backing strip. Double welded V joint is more reliable than single welded V joint with backing strip. The cost also increases with reliability of the joint. With the reliability of joint. First, I will tell here the what options will be alright. The welded assemblies are tight and leak proof as compared with the riveted assemblies. Option A is right. Okay, guys. The single welded V joint is less reliable than square butt joint. This point is wrong, because single welded V joint is more single welded V joint is more reliable than is more reliable. Here it will become is less reliable is given. It will be more reliable, then only this will be right than square butt joint. Welding results in a thermal distortion of the parts, thereby including residual stress. Option C 3 point also is right. and the option 1 and 3 will be our right options. Okay guys, for today it's enough, and tomorrow I will continue here. uh, Thank you, and if you thank you, like and subscribe it if you like. If you like more and more, share with your friends and relatives, and subscribe more and more. and and thank you so much. Please, if you like my video, subscribe it and like. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like. Thank you so much guys. We will meet you on next video lecture series.